All right, ready, steady, go. How are you all doing? I welcome you all for this one day, one runner habit series for the whole month of April, where each and every day I present to you all one runner habit and explain and give a perspective about that particular habit from a runner's mindset, and also give you some tips and techniques how you can apply the same or implement the same habit in your own business and in your own life. This is Karthik Viswanathan, and today is day number 22, meaning it's habit number 22. And the habit for today is practicing calmness in an awkward situation or in any different awkward situations, right? So from a runner's perspective, so awkward situations and runners, or like we face a lot of awkward situations, especially during our races, like races in the sense like when we participate in an organized race of say 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, half marathons, full marathon, ultras, Ironman race, whatever the race distance might be. But for each and every runner, walker, jogger, or a participant, like we would be facing we would have faced some awkward situations here and there from time to time. So to give an example, to give some perspective about for that particular awkward situations, because sometimes it will be when we are standing now, and when I'm talking about those awkward situations, it will be like a bit more humorous. But during that time, it will be a bit uncomfortable or unsettling during the time of a race, or the particular event. Say for example, like when we are running, and then on that day, to start off with, the climatic conditions would be totally drastic. It will be, we would be expecting a normal a smooth temperature, or a smooth climate or an optimal climate for a run. But when we go out there, and then we would be seeing the sun coming in its full throttle, and then we would be huffing and puffing. Yeah, so that's kind of an awkward situation, and then wherein like we would be sweating a lot, and then all over the tops and the shorts and everything, like will be drenched with the sweat and everything. And because of that, like me personally would be having my own chafing issues, like when I'm just running for a longer distance. So that chafing issues would be putting me in an awkward situation. Yeah. And small little things, like from an outset it might be looking as a small little things, but in during that particular moment it will be like a humongous situation for us. Like say, one of the other things would be my shoelaces would be just going off often, like it get untied, it get loose, and then I need to stop every now and then, depending upon what kind of a shoes I'm wearing, and depending upon especially what kind of the shoelace it has got in it. So in my early days, this was a problem, like so many different times. Yeah. And sometimes, like when I'm just wearing some earphones, and this is common for many of the runners if they're wearing some wearable gadgets. So running out of a power, when running up the battery in your own electronic gadgets, so that might be putting you in an awkward situation. Yeah. So and typical thing, like getting tired, mentally tired, and physically tired, and running out of energy, going empty, so with the tank, so that can be an awkward situation. Or you might saying that, okay, you might be thinking like you would be having a real you would have familiarized your own race course, like where you are going, and what is the uphill would become, which uphill would be coming when. And all of a sudden, if there is a detour in that particular race course which you are not expecting, so that like a kind of a mindset thing there, that you would be facing these awkward situations. So during these times, like we practice calmness, or we have been trained to practice these calmness in these situations. So how we are doing that one? First and foremost thing, we acknowledge the situation. We don't deny that that is not happening. It is happening. We know that. So we acknowledge the situation. Yes, the climatic conditions is not favoring us. Yes, my shoelace is going off. Yeah. Yes, I'm running out of my battery power. So we acknowledge that particular situation, that awkward moment, right? And then we observe like what we are going to do next. What are the things we try to get our focus from that particular awkward situation, or that particular disappointment, or the ones with an uncomfortable feeling, to to the things or the events, to or the areas of the focus where things are working really well, right? So maybe like I would be just, if my shoelace is going on and off, like maybe like I would be just thinking through the feeling, the wind which is hitting on my face, and the natural scenery that I could be able to enjoy during my run. and I can just feel the vibe from other people when we are just running as a group and like a huge group, right? And I could just able to just look around people like whom they would be just encouraging as a support group, and then I'll be always look for these little kids waving the hands and giving the high fives. I'll be looking for them whenever I'm running out of energy, and then I'll never miss a high five. Whenever if it is in my vicinity, I'll just go across the road, or I will just make myself way towards the sidelines and then try to give the high fives to all these kids, right? In that way, like that's a kind of a positivity that kind of that instills in their mindset, and also in turn it gets a lot of energy to me. So in that way, like I get more favor than those kids. So that's the kind of a thing. So and even if we are not in that kind of a situation, like then I would be trying to find the rhythms. And this is one of the things which I have interviewed a lot of runners, and they would have said the same thing. They have said the same thing to me, saying that they would trying to find the rhythm in their own steps, in their own breathing pattern, in their own body. They connect to themselves, we connect to ourselves, and in that way often like we try to go into a repetitive pattern stage, and that way like you can even call it as a meditative stage for a while. So that will be definitely inducing a little bit of a calmness into our own system, into our own mindset, and that will definitely bring our consciousness to this particular physical body. So in that way, we'll be starting to practicing our calmness in these awkward moments, right? So that is another one. And even if that is not possible, then other ways like I can give you another tip as well, like how we'll be doing. Sometimes we'll be totally diverting our attention and focus to something else, not within ourselves, not about the particular issue which is happening, which is hindering me, but it'll be totally something about, oh, okay, there is a birthday party coming in next week. So what are all the things I need to do? Or I need to throw a birthday party, or I need to organize another function or anything of that sort. Or I need to organize a birthday party to my own kids. So what are the things I need to plan for? So those kind of a kind of a planning, or those kind of things would be running in our mind. Or generally in other things, we would be just putting some other things, like saying we'll be brainstorming some solutions to the problems that what we are facing in our own life, or in our own journey, in at our own work, like what are the problems that we are facing and how we can solve it. So totally diverting the total focus from the awkward moment to the one that what we can just focus on at that point in time. So in that way, when we are just staying, when we are focusing ourselves in those kind of things, like which we get occupied in a very good positive way, and also these occupying mindset will be definitely giving us more energy. So we'll be trying to stick to those kind of routines, and that's how like we practice calmness during these awkward situations. It is not given from the day one. It comes to us as by practicing. It is a kind of an acquired skill. It's not a given thing, right? Just because of like this morning, I just all of a sudden, let's assume like, oh, I'm just pretending to be the first time day runner, and then whether I'll be getting this habit or not, no. It is some kind of a thing that we adapt to it. We picked it up day by day, try a session by session, even by event. That's how we picked it up, right? So that's how we find calmness in awkward situations. And let's see like how we can take this particular habit and how we can apply into our own entrepreneurial world. For an entrepreneur, for a business people, like how this one would be really helpful. Say like definitely like you would be facing a lot many different challenges, ups and downs in single day, maybe in a single hour, right? So certain times like you can really go back and control, certain times like you won't be in full control of those situations where you need to find some calmness within us. So you'd have heard people saying this one, you would have read about it, or even you have practiced about it. So I'll be sharing a couple of tips which will be really helpful to you all. So one, I can give you an example of these situations. Maybe you might be having a tough conversation with your investors, or with your early adapters, or with your own teammates, or with your own clients. So wherein like the conversation needs to be happening, but you may not be able to control the conversation. So but in those kind of moments, so you need to be full bit occupied within the zone, and then so that like you can try to induce calmness. So first thing, you can just try to pass it a bit. pass it a bit, in the sense like try to disconnect from what's happening. I understand like you might be having a conversation, but at the same time you just try to pass it a bit and then breathe to it. Just connect to that particular conversation. Don't think about the result, don't think about the outcome of what is going to happen if this client is going away, and what is this what's going to happen if there is a loss of an investment. So those kind of things, just try to have that, because I'm talking about like this is happening during the time, during the crisis moment, if you wish. So it needs to be just on the toes, to think through it. So just pass it a bit, and then to just breathe through it. Okay, just by breathing it, just like relaxedly breathing it, trying to get your physical attention to yourself first, right? And then ask a bit of more questions around it. Second thing, just ask a couple of more questions with your customer, with your investor, or with your early adapter. In that way, like you would be starting to get some perspective around it, rather than just trying to be just bombarded with all the inputs from that particular person, and then getting the response like which is totally out of your control. Maybe like you can just starting to get the gravity of the situation, and maybe like you can start to get that control on the situations by asking some meaningful questions. And then you can ask the meaningful questions one and only if you're doing the first step. First thing, you need to level yourself up by really passing a bit, taking a deep breath, and then if possible like acknowledge their feelings, and then you can start asking these questions. So in that way you can really start feeling the practicing the habit of being calm in these awkward situations, right? So, and the outcome, it can be anything, but at least like you would be knowing that what you're going to do, you would be knowing that what you are saying, you would be knowing, yes, this is going to work out, or this is not going to work out. At least you had a chance at it, right? So that's how like you can easily implement it and start doing this one, and give me your feedback, like how you're feeling it. And I love to get your feedback, and then we'll just go from there. That's one, right? And let's see like how we can take this habit of practicing calmness in awkward situation and in our own life. So in our own day-to-day life, like so many different things would be happening. And I would a couple of my favorite moments, like where we would be just like where I can just claim as an awkward moment, is like stacking up in the traffic, right? That's one thing. And then waiting in the queues. Queues can be like in anywhere, like it can be in your supermarket, where you would be just chucked up all the things in your shopping list, and then put up in the trolley, and then you're waiting on the total queue to get it as a self-checkout, or you're waiting for the person to just check a receipt to you in, so that you can pay it and then go back to your home and do the chores, right? So for that, like you need to wait for a while. So that's one of the things where you might be just going, yes, I need it to be done very quickly. Or you might be waiting for an appointment where it is getting delayed, or in a bank, or in anywhere, right? So that's waiting. Or in a pickup, where you would have ordered for a pickup takeaway food, and then you're waiting for when you arrive at to your restaurant, and then the food is being till being prepared for you. So even in that particular moment, you would be maybe like, because of your hunger, or because of your family's hunger, you might be losing some patience. So these are all some awkward moments. So the simple moments, but these are all very practical moments in your life. And the same way, like, you can also relate to your own awkward moments in your life. There, the couple of tips I can really give it to you all. The first thing, again, acknowledge the moment as a runner. Like, yes, this is getting delayed. Yes, you are waiting over there. And in that way, like, you'll be gravitating yourself to this particular thing, right? The second thing what you can do is, like, at least like you can just see the positive nuggets, positive moments that what this particular waiting is providing to you. Maybe in the traffic, like you can just really think of the people, thank those people, thank to that particular day, because you are in a very fortunate situation where you can go and take a takeaway food, where you can order a takeaway food and then you can go and pick it up. And then you are in a fortunate situation where you can go to a supermarket by yourself and check up every single thing that what you want from the shopping list. Or else, like, if you're stuck up in the traffic, just think through the kind of the things, think through about the people whom you're going to meet. I'm talking about a normal day-to-day situations. I'm not talking about an emergent situation. I'm just talking about an normal day-to-day situations where you might be going and meeting a friend. So think about the moments that what you have spent with your friend the last time. So try to make use of the time in a very positive way, because certain things you cannot control. Yeah. So if there is a thing that you can control, yes, you can really act upon it. Just think through it, like what are the things that you can control. But certain things, of course, you cannot control. We need to accept that factor, and that's what I call that, those awkward moments out of your control, and acknowledge that one, and then start appreciating these little things that what you can see in front of you, right? So that will be really, really giving you the joy of that being in that particular moment. So that this is a bit hard at the start, but as you start practicing it, you can definitely start really enjoying the time like a runner, like how we would be definitely enjoying our the time, because we starting to practice the calmness there. And then definitely this is a kind of a contagious thing. Once you start doing it, your family members will be definitely starting to do the same thing, or the people who surrounding you will be definitely starting to do the same thing in coming time, coming weeks, coming months, whenever they see you being in that particular zone, in the calm zone, in that chaos mode, if you wish, then that particular thing will be definitely contagious, right? So that's what this practicing calmness in on an awkward situation is will be definitely helpful in the normal life, or in an entrepreneurial life, and also definitely in a runner's life too. So as you all know, the world is a buzzing place, right? Time is not going to wait for anyone. Time can run in super fast mode, but we all have the superpower to practice calmness in these any given situation, and especially in the awkward situations. This is Karthik Viswanathan, and please do me a favor. Going forward, whenever you see a jogger, walker, or a runner in the park, in the road, on the street, in the gym, just wave at them, give a thumbs up to them, just nod your head with an acknowledgement, and put a smile on your face. So that will be definitely lifting their spirit, and also that will be definitely lifting your spirit. And that kind of a rapport will be creating a positivity that which will be going for a long time. All right, this is Karthik Viswanathan, and thank you all so much. And until the next one, bye bye.